girl asked for help, said her mother was trapped in her boyfriend's house. Emily Johnson ran desperately through the poorly lit streets of the Hope Hills neighborhood as tears streamed down her face. The 16-year-old girl went door to door, begging for help from any neighbor still awake on that Tuesday night. "Please, my mum is trapped in her boyfriend's house," she sobbed to anyone who would listen. "She can't get out by herself." Dorothy Wilson, the owner of the corner bakery, was the first to open her door when she heard the girl's cries. At 68, she had known Emily since she was little and knew the girl wasn't one to make up stories. "Sweetheart, what happened?" Dorothy asked, holding the trembling teenager's shoulders. "My mum, she's been with Derek for 3 months and now she can't leave his house," Emily explained, trying to catch her breath. "It's been a week since she came home. She won't answer my calls. She hasn't gone to work. I went there, and she was just sitting on the couch, staring at nothing like she was a different person." Dorothy felt a tightness in her chest. She had known Amanda Johnson ever since the woman moved to the neighborhood 5 years ago, after Emily's father abandoned them. Amanda had always been a devoted mother, working as a nursing assistant at the local health clinic to support her daughter. "Do you have your Aunt Jennifer's number?" Dorothy asked, remembering Amanda's sister who visited occasionally. "I do, but she lives on the other side of town. She's probably asleep," Emily replied, still shaking. "Doesn't matter the time, sweetheart. We're calling right now." Dorothy grabbed her phone and dialed the number Emily had memorized. After several rings, a sleepy voice answered. "Jennifer, it's Dorothy from the bakery near your sister's place. There's a situation with Amanda, and we need your help urgently. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out as we're just starting." Now back to the story. Jennifer Johnson arrived in Hope Hills in less than an hour, driving her red Civic through the empty streets. At 42, she was nothing like her younger sister. While Amanda had always been more reserved and sensitive, Jennifer had a fiery temper and didn't take nonsense from anyone. "Where's this house?" she asked as soon as she stepped out of the car. Emily, Dorothy, and 2 other neighbors who had joined them walked 3 blocks to a single-story house with a green gate. The living room light was on, and the faint sound of a TV could be heard. "Mom!" Emily shouted, banging on the gate. "Mom, it's me!" Derek Wilson appeared on the porch. He was a 45-year-old man with neatly combed salt and pepper hair and a smile that tried too hard to be friendly. He wore a white dress shirt even though it was nearly midnight. "Hi, Emily, your mom's resting. She hasn't been feeling well lately," he said in a calm, controlled voice. "I want to talk to her now," Jennifer demanded, stepping toward the gate. "And you are?" Derek asked, keeping his tone polite but with an irritated glint in his eyes. "I'm Amanda's sister. Open this gate. I want to see how she is." Derek hesitated for a few seconds, eyeing the small group gathered on the sidewalk. He knew making a scene would only draw more attention. Of course, come in, please. But keep your voices down." Amanda just managed to fall asleep. The group entered the small, simple living room. Amanda was sitting on the couch, still wearing the same blue health clinic uniform from a week ago. Her curly hair was disheveled, and she stared blankly at the TV, not really watching. "Amanda?" Jennifer called, moving closer to her sister. The 38-year-old woman slowly lifted her eyes as if emerging from a deep dream. "Jennifer, what are you doing here?" she asked in a weak, confused voice. "I came to get you, sis. Emily is worried." "Emily?" Amanda looked around until she spotted her daughter. "Sweetheart, you should be home studying. I've told you not to worry about me." "Mom? You haven't gone to work in a week. Mrs. Margaret from the health clinic called asking if you were sick," Emily said, kneeling beside her mother. "A week?" Amanda seemed genuinely confused. "That can't be. You were here with me, love," Derek interrupted, standing behind the couch and placing a hand on Amanda's shoulder. "Remember? You said you were exhausted, that you needed time to take care of yourself." "That's right," Amanda murmured, but her voice lacked conviction. Jennifer watched the scene with growing indignation. She knew her sister better than anyone, and was certain Amanda would never miss work without notice, let alone leave Emily home alone. "Amanda, you're coming home right now," Jennifer declared, reaching out her hand. She doesn't want to go, Derek said quickly. Isn't that right, dear? You're fine here with me. I think so, Amanda replied, but her eyes were uncertain. Mom, please, Emily begged, clutching her mother's hand. I miss you. The house feels empty without you. For a moment, Amanda wavered. Tears welled in her eyes as she looked at her daughter. My sweet girl, she whispered. Amanda's going through a tough time, Derek cut in again. She found out about some old debts that were making her very anxious. I convinced her to let me handle it for her. What debts? Jennifer asked suspiciously. Derek left the room and returned with a folder of documents. See for yourselves, he said, showing them the papers. Overdue credit card payments, the loan for the nursing course she took 2 years ago, some purchases she'd forgotten about. Amanda was terrified she'd lose everything. Emily glanced at the papers without fully understanding, but Jennifer took them and examined them closely. There were multiple pages with large red numbers. How did you get these documents? Jennifer demanded. Amanda gave me power of attorney so I could help sort things out, Derek replied, producing another paper. Sure enough, there was a document signed by Amanda, granting Derek authority to handle her financial matters. Did you sign this, Amanda? Jennifer asked. I think so. Derek said it was the only way he could help me, Amanda answered, rubbing her forehead as if trying to remember. Dorothy, who had been silently observing, stepped closer to Jennifer. Can I talk to you outside for a minute? She whispered. The two women stepped onto the porch, where Dorothy glanced around to make sure Derek wasn't listening. Jennifer, I know this man, Dorothy murmured. He lived in the neighborhood about 3 years ago. Back then he was with a woman named Melissa, who worked at the pharmacy. The same thing happened. What do you mean the same thing? Melissa started acting strange, stopped working, lived in his house. Her daughters were desperate, just like Emily is now. When they finally got her out, they found he'd emptied her bank account and sold some of her furniture. Jennifer felt her blood run cold. Where is Melissa now? She moved away soon after, too ashamed to face anyone. Her daughters said she was lost for months, like she'd just woken from a dream. Why didn't you say anything sooner? Because I wasn't sure it was the same man. He was thinner back then, had a beard. But now, seeing him up close, I'm sure it's the same person. The two women went back inside the house. Emily was still kneeling beside her mother, trying to make eye contact with her. Mom, remember when you taught me how to make that chocolate cake Grandma used to make? Emily asked. You said it was important for me to learn family recipes. Chocolate cake? Amanda seemed to struggle to recall. Oh yes, with fudge frosting. That's it. You said you'd teach me how to make coconut truffles too, remember? I remember. Amanda smiled weakly for the first time since they'd arrived. Derek realized he was losing control of the situation. Look, it's really late, and Amanda needs to rest. Why don't we talk about this tomorrow? He suggested. No, Jennifer said firmly. My sister is coming with me now. She's not going anywhere, Derek replied, and for the first time, his friendly mask slipped completely. Amanda is an adult and is here of her own free will. Mom, do you want to come with me? Emily asked directly. Amanda looked from her daughter to Derek, clearly torn. I don't know. Derek said if I leave here, the debts will get even worse, that I might even get sued. That's not true, Amanda, Jennifer said. No one gets sued over credit card debt. Oh, really? Derek mocked. You have no idea about her financial situation. Amanda owes a lot of money, and if it's not handled the right way, she could lose everything. Dorothy moved closer to Amanda and sat in the armchair next to the couch. Sweetheart, you've known me for 5 years. Have I ever lied to you? She asked gently. No, Dorothy. Then believe me when I tell you that you need to leave here now. This man isn't helping you. He's hurting you. Dorothy doesn't understand financial matters, Derek said quickly. She doesn't have the education to... Don't you finish that sentence, Dorothy interrupted, standing up with fire in her eyes. I raised 4 children alone after my husband passed, kept a bakery running for 20 years, and never owed a penny to anyone. Don't talk to me about education. The silence that followed was heavy. Amanda looked at Dorothy with a new light in her eyes, as if she were starting to see things more clearly. "Dorothy, how long has it been since I went to the bakery?" Amanda asked. "About 2 weeks, dear. You used to stop by every day after work to buy bread for Emily's breakfast." 2 weeks? Amanda looked shocked. "But I remember going yesterday." "No, Mom," Emily said softly. "You haven't bought bread in days. I've been eating crackers for breakfast." Amanda brought a hand to her head, looking confused and frightened. "I don't understand what's happening to me. It's like I'm living in a fog." Derek saw he was losing ground. "Sweetheart, you know you've been taking some anxiety medication. The doctor said it's normal to feel a little confused at first," he said, walking to the kitchen cabinet. "What doctor?" Jennifer demanded immediately. "Doctor..." Derek hesitated. "A specialist I know. What's his name? Where's his office?" "That doesn't matter right now," Derek said, returning with a pill bottle. "What matters is Amanda continuing her treatment." Jennifer snatched the bottle from his hands before he could protest. She read the label and her suspicions were confirmed. "Amanda, did you authorize anyone to give you these pills?" "What pills?" Amanda asked, taking the bottle. "Diazepam. Derek said they were vitamins to help me relax." "These aren't vitamins, Mom," Emily said. She was studying to be a pharmacy technician. "This is a very strong sedative. It can't be taken without a prescription." The revelation hit the room like a bombshell. Amanda looked at Derek with an expression mixing fear and outrage. "You told me they were vitamins," she accused. I just wanted to help you calm down. You were so stressed about the debts," Derek replied, clearly desperate. "How long have you been taking this, Mom?" asked Emily. Amanda tried to focus, but it was hard to think clearly. Since I started staying here, he said I needed to take it 3 times a day." 3 times a day? Jennifer exclaimed. "Amanda, that's an insane dosage. No wonder you're confused all the time." Dorothy stood up and walked to the door. "I'm calling my niece Samantha. She's a pharmacist and can come explain the effects of these medications." "That's not necessary," Derek said, trying to block her way. "There's nothing wrong with taking anxiety medication. There is when it's done without medical supervision and when the person doesn't know what they're taking," Dorothy countered, stepping out to make the call. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. While Dorothy was on the phone, Jennifer decided to dig deeper. She grabbed Amanda's purse from the table. "What are you doing?" Derek asked, trying to snatch it back. "Looking for answers," Jennifer replied, holding firm. "Amanda, can I check your phone?" "Of course," Amanda said, still struggling to organize her thoughts. Jennifer opened her sister's phone and began scrolling through the messages. What she found was disturbing. There were dozens of messages from Derek, all affectionate but with a manipulative tone. "Sweetheart, you know you're only safe here with me. Out there, people will judge you for your debts. Don't answer calls from work today. You need to focus on taking care of yourself. Your sister and daughter don't understand what you're going through. Only I truly get you. Remember, you promised you wouldn't leave here until we sorted everything out." "Amanda, do you remember sending these messages?" Jennifer asked, showing some of the replies. Amanda read the messages she supposedly sent, all agreeing with Derek and saying she didn't want to see anyone. I don't remember writing this," she said, confused. "Of course you do," Derek said quickly. "You were very upset when you wrote them." "No, I really don't remember," Amanda insisted, and for the first time, there was firmness in her voice. Emily stepped closer and looked at the phone over her aunt's shoulder. "Mom, look at the timestamps. This one says you sent it at 3 a.m. saying you were fine. You never stay up that late." "That's true," Amanda agreed. "I always go to bed early so I can wake up for work." Derek was visibly nervous now, pacing the room. "You're just confusing her even more," he said. "Amanda, remember how we talked about your family being possessive sometimes?" "Possessive?" Jennifer repeated, outraged. "We're trying to help." "Help? You showed up here in the middle of the night, barged into my house, went through her personal things." "This isn't your house, it's our house," Amanda interrupted, and everyone turned to look at her. "What do you mean, honey?" Derek asked, clearly surprised. You said it was your house, but I pay the rent here. I remember that very clearly, Amanda said, slowly rising from the couch. Emily felt a surge of hope. For the first time, her mother was questioning something. That's right, Mom, you told me you were helping him with rent because he was unemployed, Emily confirmed. I never said that, Derek denied. I said yes, insisted Amanda, walking around the living room as if seeing it for the first time. You said it was temporary just until you found a new job. Amanda, you're confused because of the medication. No, shouted Amanda, startling everyone, including herself. I'm not confused about that. I remember very clearly paying the first month's rent for this house. Dorothy walked back into the house at that moment. Samantha is on her way. She said, based on the symptoms I described, Amanda might be suffering from a benzodiazepine overdose, she announced. What does that mean? Asked Emily. It means she might have been over-medicated, causing mental confusion, memory loss, and psychological dependence, Dorothy explained. Amanda sank heavily into the armchair, as if the weight of the revelation were physical. You drugged me, she said to Derek, her voice growing stronger by the second. I didn't drug anyone. I just wanted to help you stay calm, he protested. By lying about what the pills were, making me take a dangerous dose? Amanda was becoming more lucid as anger replaced confusion. You were having panic attacks. I've never had a panic attack in my life, Amanda shouted, standing up again. I was stressed about bills. That's normal. Everyone gets stressed about money. Derek realized he had completely lost control of the situation. His strategy of keeping Amanda dependent and confused was crumbling. Look, maybe I overdid the dosage a little, he admitted reluctantly. But it was only because I care about you, Amanda. You're too fragile to handle financial problems alone. Fragile? Amanda repeated in disbelief. I raised a daughter by myself, worked in healthcare for 15 years, always paid my bills on time. How dare you call me fragile? Because you came crying to me about your debts, Derek shot back, finally showing his true nature. You were desperate, begging me to help you. I wasn't begging. I was venting to someone I trusted, Amanda said, her memories becoming clearer as the medication wore off. And you took advantage of that to manipulate me. Samantha arrived at that moment, a 35-year-old woman in a white pharmacy coat from where she worked. Dorothy quickly filled her in. Can I see the medication? Samantha asked. Jennifer handed her the bottle. Samantha read the label and shook her head. This dosage is for severe anxiety disorders. It should only be prescribed by a psychiatrist. And look at the date, she said, showing the bottle. This prescription is from 4 months ago, and it's under someone else's name. Whose? Everyone asked at once. Melissa Brown. Dorothy and Jennifer exchanged glances. It confirmed Derek had used the same methods on all his victims. Who's Melissa Brown? Amanda asked. The woman he was with before you, Dorothy answered. He did the exact same thing to her. Amanda looked at Derek with disgust and horror. How many? She asked. How many women have you done this to? I didn't do anything wrong, Derek said, but his voice had lost all authority. I help women who are struggling. You take advantage of vulnerable women, Jennifer corrected. And now you're going to explain exactly how your scheme works. What scheme? I'm a single man dating single women. There's nothing illegal about that. Samantha moved closer to Amanda and took her wrist to check her pulse. Amanda, have you been taking these pills every day for the past few weeks? She asked. I think so. He gave them to me morning, afternoon, and night. Said it was important to stay consistent. You may have developed a chemical dependency. That's why you feel confused and are afraid to leave here. Your body is addicted to the medication. What do you mean, addicted? Asked Emily, startled. Benzodiazepines cause dependency quickly. The more you take, the more you need to feel normal. And when you try to stop, you feel anxiety, fear, confusion. It's a real physical addiction. Amanda began to cry, but now they were tears of relief mixed with anger. I knew something was wrong with me, she sobbed. I couldn't think straight, couldn't make simple decisions. I thought I was losing my mind. You're not losing your mind, Mom, said Emily, hugging her. You were being manipulated. Derek made one last attempt to regain control. Amanda, you know I truly love you. Everything I did was because I care about you. These people will leave and you'll be alone with your problems again. Alone? Amanda laughed, still crying. I have a wonderful daughter, a sister who came here in the middle of the night to help me, neighbors who care about me. I was never alone. You're the one who made me believe I was. And what about your debts? Who's going to help you with that? I will, Amanda replied firmly. The same way I've always handled my problems, talking to the bank, negotiating, working, like a responsible adult. You'll regret this, Derek threatened. The only thing I regret is trusting you, Amanda answered, standing up and walking toward the door. Where are you going? He asked, blocking her path. Home, to my real home. You can't leave like this. You're still under the influence of the medication. It could be dangerous. Samantha is coming with me to monitor me, said Jennifer. And first thing tomorrow, we'll find a real doctor for proper follow-up care. Derek realized he had lost for good. He stepped away from the door, but made one last attempt. Amanda, at least let me explain about the power of attorney. I was really trying to organize your finances. The power of attorney is the least of my worries now, Amanda said, pausing at the door. Tomorrow, I'll go to the notary to cancel it. What worries me is how many other women you're doing this to right now. Or have done in the past, Dorothy added, because I'm sure Melissa wasn't the first. Emily looked at Derek with contempt. You almost destroyed my family, she said, and you've probably destroyed others too. I never hurt anyone, Derek protested weakly. Liar, Amanda said, turning to face him one last time. You hurt my daughter by keeping me away from her. You hurt my relationship with my sister by making me ignore her calls. You hurt my job by making me miss work without notice. You hurt my self-esteem by convincing me I was incapable of handling my own life. And you hurt yourself, Samantha added. Drugging someone without medical knowledge is a crime. Using someone else's prescription is also a crime. Derek paled at the word crime. You won't do any of that, he said, trying to sound confident. You have no proof. We have this pill bottle with a prescription in someone else's name, Jennifer said, placing the bottle in her purse. We have the messages from Amanda's phone, and I'm sure if we look, we'll find other women willing to tell their stories. Dorothy stepped closer to Derek. And one more thing, she said. I know half the people in this neighborhood. By morning, everyone will know what kind of man you are. Good luck trying to fool anyone else here. The group left the house, leaving Derek alone in the living room. Emily was the last to leave and turned to him one final time. You know what makes me angriest, she said. It's just that my mother has such a good heart that if you had truly asked for help, she would have helped you for free, but you chose to destroy her life to get what you wanted. Amanda walked through the streets of the neighborhood, leaning on Emily and Jennifer, with Dorothy and Samantha by her side. With each step, she felt more like herself again. Mum, are you okay? Asked Emily, worried about her mother's uneven breathing. I'm starting to feel better, Amanda replied. It's strange. It's like waking up from a very long nightmare. That's exactly how it feels when you stop taking benzodiazepines abruptly, explained Samantha. You might feel anxiety, confusion, even tremors in the next few hours. That's why it's important you're not alone today. She'll stay at my house, Jennifer decided. And tomorrow we'll go to the doctor together. No, Amanda said, stopping in her tracks. I'm going to my house with my daughter. I've already run away from my problems for too long. But Mom, Emily, I need to face this. I need to return to my life, my home, my routine. If I go to your aunt's house, I'll still be running away. Jennifer understood her sister's determination. Then I'll stay with you tonight, she said, just to make sure you're okay. And I'll stop by early tomorrow to check on you, added Samantha. And I'll have Michael bring fresh bread for your breakfast, said Dorothy, referring to her son who helped her at the bakery. Amanda looked at all these people who had put their lives on hold to help her and felt deep emotion. I don't know how to thank you, she said, tears in her eyes. You don't have to thank us, Dorothy replied. This is how a real community works. We help each other. And this is how a real family works too, Jennifer added. When they reached Amanda and Emily's home, a simple 2-story house with 2 bedrooms and a small porch, Amanda paused at the door and took a deep breath. How long has it been since I've seen my own home? She asked, more to herself. 2 weeks, Mom, Emily answered softly. 2 weeks? How could I stay away from home for 2 weeks? Amanda shook her head, still trying to process everything that had happened. They entered the house, and Amanda looked around as if visiting a place from her childhood. Everything was exactly as she had left it, thanks to Emily's care. "You kept everything so tidy," she said to her daughter. "I always held on to hope that you'd come back," Emily replied. Jennifer helped Amanda sit on the living room couch, while Samantha prepared a calming tea in the kitchen. "Amanda, I want you to tell me how it all started," Jennifer asked. "From the very first day you met that man." Amanda closed her eyes and tried to focus. As the effects of the medication faded, her memories became clearer. "It was 3 months ago," she began. "I was at the bank trying to renegotiate my credit card. I was really worried because the balance had grown so much, and I couldn't keep up with the payments." "How much was it?" Jennifer asked. $2,400. It wasn't the end of the world, but with my salary, it was a lot. "And where did Derek come into this?" "He was in line behind me. He heard my whole conversation with the manager. When I left the bank, he approached me and said he knew ways to renegotiate debt that banks don't tell customers about." Emily sat on the floor beside her mother, listening intently. "At first, he seemed genuinely interested in helping me," Amanda continued. "He knew a lot about finances, talked about investments, ways to organize a budget. He seemed sincere." "When did you two start seeing each other?" Jennifer asked. "After about 2 weeks. He asked me to dinner a few times, always at simple places. Said he liked hard-working women like me. He made me feel special. And when he suggested you move in with him..." "It wasn't exactly like that," said Amanda, making an effort to remember. "First, he started coming here to our house. He said he wanted to see where I lived, to spend time with our family." "Like I didn't like him from the start," Emily recalled. "That's true. You two never got along. Derek said it was normal, that you were jealous seeing me with another man." "And you believed that?" asked Jennifer. "At the time it made sense. Emily really was a bit withdrawn with me. Now I understand she was trying to protect me." Samantha came back from the kitchen with the tea and joined the conversation. "Amanda, when did he start giving you the medication?" "It must have been about 3 weeks ago. I was really anxious because I'd gotten some unexpected bills. Derek said he knew a doctor who could prescribe something natural for anxiety." "But you never saw a doctor, did you?" "No. He said the doctor was a friend of his and already knew my case. He brought the medication and said it was herbal remedies." "And you didn't suspect anything when you started feeling confused?" "He said it was normal that my body was adjusting to the treatment, and that the confusion was because of the stress from the debts, not the medication." Jennifer shook her head, struck by the subtle manipulation. "And when did you start staying at his house?" "That was gradual too. First, he suggested I spend 1 night there when I was really anxious. Then, he said I should stay a few days to recover from the stress. Little by little, it became harder to leave." "Why, Mom?" asked Emily. "What kept you from coming home?" "It's hard to explain," said Amanda, struggling to find the words. "It was like I'd lost confidence in myself. He always said I was too fragile to make big decisions, that I needed more rest, that people outside would judge me for the debts." "He completely isolated you," observed Samantha. "It's a common psychological manipulation tactic." "How do you know that?" asked Dorothy. "My ex-husband did the same to me," admitted Samantha. "Not with medication, but with the same isolation and control tactics. He convinced me I was incompetent, that I needed him for everything." "How did you get out of that situation?" asked Amanda, interested. "My older sister, like Jennifer here. She barged into my life, confronted me, and helped me see what was happening." "How long did it last?" 2 years of my life. 2 years I completely lost, feeling incapable of anything." Amanda held Emily's hand. "Sweetheart, forgive me for abandoning you these past weeks. I know you tried to warn me about him." "You didn't abandon me, Mom. You were sick. What matters is that you're coming back now. But how did you manage all this time on your own?" "I wasn't alone," said Emily, looking at Dorothy. "Mrs. Dorothy helped me so much. She let me stay at the bakery after school, always asked if I was okay. and Aunt Jennifer was there too, even from afar. I called so many times, Jennifer confirmed. Emily always said you were fine, but I could tell something was wrong. Why didn't you tell me you were worried? Amanda asked Emily. Because you never answered my calls, and when I did get through, you seemed like you were in another world. You talked strangely, like a different person. Amanda remembered the confused conversations she'd had with her daughter and felt a pang of guilt. What about school? How did you explain my absence? I said you were taking care of a sick relative in another town, Emily admitted. I didn't want anyone to know that you'd left me. Oh, my baby, said Amanda, pulling Emily into a tight hug. You shouldn't have gone through this alone. But she wasn't alone, Dorothy reminded, and that shows the strength of our community. When a family is struggling, everyone helps. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing, Samantha examined Amanda again, checking her blood pressure and reflexes. How are you feeling now? She asked. Strange, Amanda admitted. It's like I'm waking from a very deep dream. Sometimes I feel confused, sometimes hyper-aware, and I have a bit of a headache. Those are normal withdrawal symptoms from benzodiazepines. It may last a few days. It's important to drink plenty of water and rest, but don't oversleep. Can I go back to work tomorrow? Better to wait a few days. You need to stabilize first. But I've already missed so much time. Mrs. Margaret must be furious with me. She isn't, Dorothy interrupted. I spoke with her this morning. She's worried about you, not angry. And when she learns what really happened, she'll be even more understanding. You won't tell her about the medication, will you? Amanda asked, ashamed. Amanda, you have nothing to be ashamed of, Jennifer said firmly. You were a victim of manipulation and psychological abuse. This isn't your fault. But how could I have been so naive? How didn't I see he was manipulating me? Because he was very good at what he did, Samantha replied. People like that study their victims, learn their vulnerabilities, and know exactly how to exploit them. Samantha's right, Dorothy agreed. You were in a tough spot, worried about money. He took advantage of that. And you're not the first, Jennifer added. Dorothy said he's done this to other women. Amanda fell silent for a few minutes, processing everything. I need to tell others, she finally said. How many women might he be manipulating right now? That's a good idea, Samantha agreed. But first, you need to fully recover. And you need to cancel that power of attorney, Jennifer reminded. I'll do that tomorrow. And I want to check my bank accounts too to see what damage he's done. I'll go with you to the bank, Jennifer offered. And I'll come too, Emily said. I don't want to stay away when you're dealing with problems anymore. Amanda smiled at her daughter, feeling more connected to her than she had in weeks. Now tell me how it was for you all this time, she asked Emily. And don't lie to protect me. I want the truth. Emily took a deep breath before speaking. The first few days were the worst. I was here alone at night, not understanding why you weren't coming home. I was afraid something had happened to you. Why didn't you call your aunt sooner? Because you always said you didn't want to burden the family with our problems. And at first you still answered some of my calls, said you were fine, that you'd be back soon. But then I stopped answering completely. Yeah, and when I tried going to his house, you seemed different. You spoke softly, avoided eye contact. It was like you were afraid of me. Amanda's heart clenched at those words. I vaguely remember your visits. Derek always said you were trying to manipulate me, to make me feel guilty. And you believed him? At the time, yes. The medication made my head so foggy. I couldn't think straight, couldn't trust my own feelings. And today at school, how did you find the courage to run for help? Because I decided I wouldn't give up on you. No matter what happened, you're my mum and I love you. Amanda started crying again, but now they were tears of gratitude. If you hadn't done that, I might have stayed there forever, she said. Or at least until he got tired of me and moved on to his next victim. I would never let that happen, Emily said firmly, even if everyone said I was imagining things. Did someone say that? A few people at school thought I was making up stories for attention, but Mrs. Dorothy always believed me. Dorothy was moved when she heard this. "This girl has a heart as big as the world," she said. "Every day she stopped by the bakery, always asking if I had any news about you. She never gave up. And today, when you decided to run through the streets?" "Because he wouldn't let me talk to you alone," Emily explained. "Every time I tried to say something, he'd interrupt or change the subject. That's when I realized he was hiding you from me on purpose. And you had the courage to go out at night alone, asking neighbors for help. I was scared, yes, but I was even more afraid of losing you forever." Jennifer looked at her niece with pride. "Emily, you saved your mother. You saved. You're 16 years old and braver than most adults would be." "It wasn't just courage," Emily said. "It was love. When you truly love someone, you'll do anything to protect them." Amanda hugged her daughter again, feeling deep love and immense gratitude. "Now tell me something," she said to Dorothy. "Why did you believe Emily from the start?" "Because I've known this girl since she was little, and because I've seen this kind of situation before. Not exactly the same, but similar." "When?" "My own sister went through something like this many years ago. A man who seemed perfect, who isolated her from her family, who convinced her she was weak and needed him for everything." "How did it end?" "She got out, but it took years for her to fully recover, and she only managed because the whole family came together to help her." "That's why you called me so quickly," Jennifer realized. "Exactly. I knew Emily couldn't save her mother alone. She needed more people, more strength." Samantha glanced at the clock and noticed it was past 2 in the morning. "Everyone, maybe it's best if we all get some rest," she suggested. "Amanda needs to sleep, but someone should stay awake to watch for any reactions to the medication." "I'll stay," Jennifer offered. "No, I will," Emily said. "I want to be close to my mom." "Then we'll both stay," Jennifer decided, "and you two can go home and rest. Tomorrow will be a long day." Dorothy and Samantha prepared to leave, but first Dorothy made a suggestion. "Amanda, tomorrow, when you're feeling better, I'd like you to come to the bakery. I want to introduce you to some people." "What people?" "Other women who've been through similar situations. They meet informally sometimes, talk, support each other. There's a group like that. It's nothing official, just a group of friends who realize they're stronger together. I think it would be good for you to meet them." "And for them to meet you too," Samantha added. "Your story could help other women recognize the signs before it's too late." Amanda hesitated for a moment. "I still feel ashamed for falling into a situation like this." "You shouldn't," Dorothy said firmly. "He's the one who should be ashamed for taking advantage of a good person. You did nothing wrong." "Dorothy's right," Jennifer agreed, "and the more women know about this, the fewer victims he'll be able to make." After Dorothy and Samantha left, Amanda, Emily, and Jennifer settled in the living room. Jennifer insisted Amanda try to sleep while she and Emily kept watch. "I don't know if I can sleep," Amanda admitted. "My mind is too restless." "It's normal," Jennifer reassured her, "but try to rest even if you can't sleep. Your body needs to recover." Amanda lay down on the couch with a blanket Emily brought from the bedroom. Emily sat in the armchair beside her, watching her mother carefully. "Sweetheart, forgive me for everything you went through," Amanda said softly. "There's nothing to forgive, Mom. It wasn't your fault." "Yes, there is. For not trusting you, for not realizing he was pulling me away from you, for letting him convince me you were just being dramatic. Mom, he was very persuasive, and you were on medication. You weren't yourself. Even so, a mother should protect her daughter, not the other way around." Jennifer moved closer to them. "Amanda, sometimes life puts situations in front of us that test how deep our love goes. You two passed the test." "How so?" "Emily showed that her love for you was stronger than fear, shame, or what others thought. And you, even confused by the medication, deep down knew something was wrong. That's why you could never fully accept the situation." "That's true," Amanda admitted. "Even sedated, I felt like I was betraying my daughter in some way. So you were both fighting, each in your own way. And in the end, love won." Emily took her mother's hand. "Mom, can I tell you something? This afternoon, before I ran out to get help, I prayed." "You prayed?" "I asked God to give me the courage to save you, and I also asked him to give you the strength to want to be saved." Amanda squeezed her daughter's hand. Your prayers were answered then. They were. And now I know we'll never let anyone come between our family again. The three women sat in silence for a few minutes, absorbing everything that had happened that night. Amanda, Jennifer said after a while, tomorrow we'll need to talk about practical matters. Your finances, your job, maybe even legal issues involving Derek. Legal issues? Giving someone controlled medication without a prescription is a crime. Using someone else's prescription is too. If you want, we can report this. I don't know if I'm ready to deal with that right now. I just want my life back. I understand. But think about this. If you don't do anything, he'll keep doing this to other women. Amanda grew thoughtful. You're right. But first, I need to recover. Of course, there's no rush. When you feel strong enough, we can talk about it again. And there's something else, Emily reminded them. What if he tries to come back? What if he won't accept that it's over? He won't come near you, Jennifer said firmly, because now he knows he's not just dealing with the two of you. He's dealing with a whole community watching him. And if needed, I can stay here a few nights, Jennifer offered, until you both feel safe again. Thank you, Auntie. That would make me feel better. Amanda began to doze off on the couch, exhausted physically and emotionally. Emily and Jennifer lowered their voices to talk. Jennifer, can I ask you something? Emily whispered. Of course. Why did my mom and dad split up? She never really told me. Jennifer hesitated, weighing how much to say. Your mother doesn't like talking about it because she doesn't want you to have a bad image of your father. But I'm old enough to know the truth. Your father was a good man, but he had problems with drinking, and when he drank, he got aggressive. Did he hit my mom? A few times. But what hurt her more was the way he spoke to her. He'd say she was stupid, that she was worthless, that she was lucky he stayed with her. Emily felt anger rising as she listened. So my mom has been through this before. In a way, yes. That's why she was an easy target for Derek. Women who have suffered psychological abuse are more vulnerable to new abusive relationships. She must have felt like it was fate, like she couldn't escape it. Probably. But look what happened today. She did escape. And do you know why? Because this time she had you fighting for her. And why didn't she have that strength before with my dad? Because back then you were too young. She thought she had nowhere to go, no way to support herself alone with a child. So she endured until she could get financially stable enough to leave. That was brave of her. Very brave. Your mother is a strong woman, Emily. She just forgets that sometimes. So that's why it's important for me to remind her always, right? Exactly. And it's important for you to remember too that you're the daughter of a strong woman. The courage you showed today didn't come from nowhere. It came from her. Emily smiled, feeling more connected to her mother than ever. Auntie, can I ask you one more thing? Anything. Teach me how to recognize the signs, so I never go through what my mom went through. Of course. First sign, be wary when someone tries to isolate you from your family and friends. Second sign, when someone tries to convince you that you're incapable of making your own decisions. Third sign, when someone uses your fears and insecurities against you. And how do I make sure I'm not vulnerable to that? By keeping your self-esteem strong, trusting your instincts, and never distancing yourself from the people who truly love you. And if you ever doubt a relationship, talk to me or your mom. I promise. The two kept talking quietly until dawn, taking turns watching over Amanda, who slept a few restless hours but without serious complications. When the sun rose, Amanda woke up naturally. She looked around and for a moment was confused, not remembering where she was. Mom, you're home, Emily said softly. Do you remember what happened last night? The memories came back gradually, and with them a mix of relief and determination. I remember, and today I'll start rebuilding my life. Jennifer had prepared breakfast in the kitchen. Dorothy appeared at the door with fresh bread, as promised. How are you feeling? Dorothy asked. Different, Amanda replied. More awake, more like myself. Still a little confused, but much better than yesterday. Samantha said the medication's effects could last a few days. I know, but I feel like the worst is over. During breakfast, Jennifer helped Amanda make a list of everything she needed to handle. First, revoke the power of attorney. Second, go to the bank to check your accounts. Third, talk to your supervisor at the health clinic. Fourth, see a doctor for a checkup. And fifth, Amanda added, talk to other women who've been through this like Dorothy suggested. Are you sure you want to do that? I am. If my story can help someone, then it's worth telling. Emily hugged her mother. I'm proud of you, Mom. And I'm proud of us both. We're quite the team. Jennifer smiled, seeing the bond between mother and daughter restored. Now, let's start the first day of the rest of your lives. 3 hours later, Amanda was at the county clerk's office revoking the power of attorney she'd given Derek. The clerk explained that any actions taken under that authority could be legally challenged. Are there any suspicious transactions in your accounts you'd like to investigate? He asked. We'll check that at the bank now, Jennifer replied. At the bank, the manager, who'd known Amanda for years, was shocked to hear what had happened. Amanda, there are some unusual transactions here. 2 transfers of $1,000 each to an account that isn't yours. To whom? To a Derek Wilson. Amanda felt her blood run cold. It was $2,000 she didn't even know she had lost. Can I get this money back? We can try. Since the power of attorney was obtained fraudulently, we have legal grounds to challenge these transfers, but you'll need to file a lawsuit. Do it, Amanda said firmly. It's not just about the money. So he doesn't do this to anyone else. The manager also revealed that Derek had tried to take out a loan in Amanda's name, but it was denied because she didn't have enough income to justify the requested amount. If it had been approved, you'd owe the bank $15,000 right now, the manager explained. $15,000, Emily exclaimed. Mom, he was trying to drown you in debt on purpose. Probably to keep you dependent on him forever, Jennifer observed. Leaving the bank, Amanda felt both furious and relieved. Furious for having been so deeply manipulated, but relieved she had found out before it was too late. Now, let's go to the health clinic, Jennifer said. Margaret, Amanda's supervisor, greeted her with a tight hug. Sweetheart, where have you been? I was so worried about you. Amanda gave a brief version of the story, focusing on the fact that she had been medicated without her knowledge. That's awful. Are you okay now? I'm recovering. I need a few days to fully get back on my feet, but I want to return to work next week. Of course, no problem. And Amanda, if you need anything, you can count on me. We're family here. Actually, I'd like to ask for your help with something, Amanda said. Maybe we could organize a talk here at the clinic about abusive relationships and psychological manipulation. What a wonderful idea. Many women who come here could benefit from that. And I'd like to be one of the speakers, to share my experience. Margaret was surprised by the suggestion. Are you sure? It can't be easy to talk about something like that. I'm sure. If it can save even one woman from going through what I did, it's worth it. That afternoon, Amanda visited the doctor Samantha had recommended. He confirmed she had been dangerously over-medicated and explained how to safely taper off the benzodiazepines. What's important now is focusing on your physical and emotional recovery, he said, and consider therapy to process everything that happened. I've thought about it. I want to understand how I was so easily manipulated so it never happens again. That's a very healthy attitude. You're on the right path to a full recovery. By the end of the day, Amanda and Emily went to Dorothy's bakery, where they met with 5 other women who had been through similar experiences. Everyone, this is Amanda, the one I told you about, Dorothy said, introducing her to the group. One of the women, Barbara in her 50s, stepped closer to Amanda. Sweetheart, I'm so glad you got out in time. It took me much longer to realize I was being manipulated. How long? Amanda asked. 2 years. I lost my home, my job, almost lost my kids. And how did you recover? Little by little, with help from so many people, and most importantly, by understanding it wasn't my fault. Another woman, Gloria, 62, shared her story. In my case, the man convinced me to sell my house to invest in a business that never existed. By the time I realized, he had disappeared with everything. Did you get anything back? Some of the money, after a long legal battle. But the most important thing was getting my self-respect back. Each woman in the group told her story, and Amanda noticed similar patterns in all of them. Charming men at first, who gradually isolated their victims, exploited their financial or emotional vulnerabilities, and used different forms of control to maintain power. What we all have in common, explained Barbara, is that we were women in moments of vulnerability, recently separated, with financial troubles, with low self-esteem. And they know how to spot that, added Gloria. It's like they have a radar for fragile women. But how do you protect yourselves now? Asked Emily. First, by keeping our circle of friends and family strong, replied Barbara. Second, by being wary when someone tries to isolate us. Third, by never making big decisions quickly when we're in love. And fourth, Gloria added, always asking for advice from people we trust before accepting financial help or moving in with someone. Dorothy served coffee and cake for everyone as the conversation continued. Amanda felt increasingly stronger, realizing she wasn't alone. Do you meet often? She asked. Once a month, Barbara answered. Sometimes to talk about our experiences, sometimes just for coffee and chatting about life. It's important to keep supporting each other. And do you help other women going through this? Whenever we can. Dorothy lets us know when suspicious cases pop up in the neighborhood. Sometimes we can intervene in time, sometimes not. In Melissa's case, who was with Derek before me, did you try to help? We did, but she didn't want to listen. She was too emotionally involved. She only accepted help after he'd already done a lot of damage. And where is she now? She moved to another neighborhood. She was too ashamed to stay here after everything. But she's doing well, working and recovering. Amanda grew thoughtful. I don't want to feel ashamed. I want to stay here in my neighborhood with my family and friends. And I want to help other women avoid going through this. That's the right attitude, Barbara approved. He's the one who should be ashamed, not you. And how do you deal with people who gossip about the situation? At first it's hard, Gloria admitted. There's always someone who loves drama, but most people understand we were victims, not accomplices. And with time the gossip fades, and all that's left is the lesson and the strength we've gained, Barbara added. Emily, who had been quietly listening, finally spoke. Can I join these meetings too? Not as a victim, but as a victim's daughter. Of course, dear, Dorothy replied. It's important for family members to understand how this kind of manipulation works. Because then you can help protect other families, Barbara explained. And you can recognize the signs if someone close to you is going through it, Gloria finished. When they left the bakery, it was already night. Mother and daughter walked home in silence, absorbing everything they'd learned that day. Mum, how are you feeling now? Emily asked. Tired, but strong, Amanda replied. It's strange, but talking to those women made me feel less alone. And less guilty? That too. It's hard to blame yourself when you see other smart, capable people went through the same thing. And you're not ashamed anymore? I still am a little, but less than yesterday, and I think it'll keep fading every day. When they got home, they found Jennifer preparing dinner. How was your day? Productive, Amanda answered. I cancelled the power of attorney, found out he stole $2,000 from me, talked to my boss and met other women who've been through similar situations. And tomorrow? Tomorrow I'll see a lawyer to see if I can recover my money and maybe file a formal complaint against him. Are you sure you want to get legally involved? I am. It's not just for me. It's for all the other women he might be manipulating now or could try to manipulate in the future. Jennifer smiled, proud of her sister's determination. Then tomorrow I'll go with you to the lawyer. And me too, said Emily. I want to be present in everything involving our family from now on. Agreed, said Amanda. We're a team. During dinner, Jennifer asked a question that had been weighing on her mind. Amanda, did you ever have real feelings for him? Or was it all just the manipulation and the medication? Amanda thought carefully before answering. It's hard to separate. In the beginning, before the medication, I think I felt something. He was affectionate, attentive, made me feel special, but now I realize it was all calculated. How so? He said exactly what I wanted to hear, that I was strong, independent, smart. But at the same time, he planted seeds of doubt about my ability to handle things on my own. And did you ever think you could have a future with him? For a moment, yes. I thought maybe it was a second chance at a stable relationship. But even then, something didn't feel completely right. What? The way he talked about Emily, always trying to convince me she was being dramatic or jealous. Part of me knew he was wrong about that. So even sedated, you never completely lost your connection with your daughter, Jennifer observed. I guess not. And maybe that's what saved me in the end. Emily took her mother's hand. Mom, can I tell you something? I never doubted your love for me. Even when you were acting strange, I knew deep down you still loved me. How did you know? Because sometimes when he wasn't around, you'd look at me differently, like you were trying to tell me something but couldn't. You noticed that? I did. And that's what gave me the strength to keep fighting. The three women finished dinner emotional but hopeful. The family had reunited and was now stronger than ever. Before we go to bed, Amanda said, I want to make a promise to both of you. What promise? Jennifer and Emily asked at the same time. I promise I'll never make big decisions in my life without talking to you both first. And I promise I'll never distance myself from family because of a relationship again. And I promise, Emily said, that I'll always fight for our family no matter what. And I promise, Jennifer added, that I'll always be there when you need me, even in the middle of the night. The three hugged, sealing a pact of mutual protection that would never be broken. The end. Now tell me, what did you think of this story of overcoming hardship? Do you know someone who's been through something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this story moved you, don't forget to hit like and especially subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming stories.